Hey guys, this is Ghost57 coming at you from the power of YouTube through the internet itself. Okay guys, so today we're going to be looking at the 750 Ti, which is actually a very old graphics card, but I've been seeing this being put into actually 2021 pre-built systems that are over $1,000. So my question to you is this actually worth your hard-working money, or should you just buy this on eBay for under $100 and put it in your system if you don't have a graphics card already? So let's go ahead and play some games on it, guys, and see how well it does. Stay tuned. And there it is, guys, the GTX 750 Ti in all its old beauty. The cool thing about this graphics card I got on eBay for $68 is this thing hardly has seen any usage. I haven't even seen a used graphics card, a 10 series or 20 series in this type of condition. I mean, this thing looks brand new. You can see right through the fins, not one lick of dust on it. And it still has one of the stickers on there from when it was first packaged. So pretty cool. So this graphics card came out in February 2014. So it's quite an old graphics card. And the CUDA cores on it is 640, which is pretty low for today's standards. Base clock is a whopping 1020, and the boost clock is 1085. So not that amazing. It only has 2 gigabytes of VRAM on there, but for some reason a lot of manufacturers are actually using this in new builds, probably because of GPU shortage, and the GTX name and the Ti probably is enticing for non-computer gamers. So we're gonna go ahead and put this to the test on one of my gaming stations, and we'll see how well it performs in today's titles. Okay guys, so we're gonna pop in the 750 Ti into my older Ryzen 1700 build. And the reason why we're using this computer is that it's pretty inexpensive to build right now. Parts are available. You can probably build this computer for around $500. Plus the whopping $68 for this card. It's a pretty good gaming computer for under $600. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in this build and we'll see how well it does. And one of the good things about the graphics card, it only has one 6-pin connector up front, so pretty much any power supply from the last 10 to 20 years can definitely power this bad boy up. So let's pop it in and see how well it does, guys. Okay, we're gonna go back to the basics. So for this card right here, you need at least a 3.0 PCIe slot in here. To put it in is quite easy. You're just gonna unlock it, grab your graphics card, take out your slots if you have any. For this graphics card right here, it's actually a 2-card slot. So you're just gonna slide it in like so. And wait for the card to clip in. And then you're just gonna tighten up the back. See, this one I have pretty much missing some parts for it, but I'm just gonna put the screw in here to hold it nicely in place. And this is a very light graphics card, so you don't really need a bracket to hold it up. And then your 6-pin connector, and you're golden. So we're gonna put the case back over there connected to a computer, and we're gonna be using a 1080p computer for this, obviously, because this is a weaker card, but it does have capability to go up to 144 frames a second. Are we gonna be reaching those frames today? I doubt it, but you never know. Maybe in some older titles, maybe we'll get close to that. So let's go ahead and put it to the test. Just gonna take a look at that beauty. Even though it's a older graphics card, it's quite beautiful to look at. Nowadays, some of these graphics cards are just so overbuilt, and the design about them are just kind of over the top. But this beauty is just so nice. Definitely made to perform. EVGA, guys, y'all been doing it right for a very long time. And you can see right here by the fins sticking out, this card means business. I wonder how hot this card's gonna get. It is a Ti after all, so it has some power performance there. So there's only one way to figure it out. We'll look at the thermal attempts on this as well. In this case, it's pretty good. Definitely NZXT is a good case builder. This is one of their older mini cases, but definitely can fit this card in there. So we're gonna go ahead and put it to the test, see some temps, play some games. But I just wanted to show you how nice this card looks. Overall, it's a beautiful card. For $68, heck, I'll go ahead and hang it on my wall as art. But let's see if it can perform. Okay guys, so we've got everything hooked up to my gaming setup over here. We are using the Turf Asus gaming monitor that's capable of 1080p at 144 Hertz. I don't think we're gonna get even close to that with this older setup over here, but we can get somewhere close to it hopefully. So like I was saying before, a lot of pre-builts are using the 750 Ti and charging $1,200 for the pre-built itself. There's really nothing too fancy to the pre-builts besides the gaming graphics card. So we're gonna jump on and start with Overwatch, one of my go-to favorites. Okay guys, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into Overwatch as the first game we're gonna test. We're gonna go a little bit with DPS so we can see how well this goes. So overall, just by starting the game, we are doing pretty good. We're at 108 frames a second, which is excellent. And the cool thing about this graphics card is it pushes itself, guys. It's at 100% usage, which is pretty amazing for not getting any type of glitching or artifacts or any type of screen tearing. This card is doing pretty well. I have this card set to medium for this game right here at 144 frames a second at 1080p. Very beautiful looking card, guys. I don't see any issues at all, even when it's at 100%. I think this is a great buy so far for 68 bucks. Don't see anything wrong with it. Let's go ahead and see some more action and see if there's any glitching. But so far, frames per second looks great. I'm not dropping below 30, which I thought we were going to hit right away, especially on medium settings. So this card is doing excellent. And one of the interesting things I was looking at is the boost clock, or I should say the base clock on this card is actually set higher than the factory one from NVIDIA. So this is definitely overclocked from factory, from EVGA, which is cool. So you might be getting a little bit more frames a second with this card. So there you go again, kudos EVGA. I don't see anything wrong with thermal throttling or anything like that. We're seeing below 70 degrees Celsius. So we're going to run it a little bit longer, and then after this game we're going to jump right into Fortnite. Because I think someone buying this graphics card will probably be playing Fortnite, Overwatch. Easy to run games anyways, or if they are buying it for somebody, you know, that's probably one of the main titles people play anyways, so, depending on your age group. So we're not going to be able to jump into more demanding games like Call of Duty because the VRAM requirement for that one is actually 4 gigabytes on low. This only has 2 gigabytes, so that's one card, or one thing you have to look for is VRAM compatibility and the requirements per game. So we're going to do Overwatch, Fortnite. We're going to play a more demanding game at the end, which is Apex Legends. So we'll jump into that also. So let's go ahead and jump into Fortnite, guys. Okay guys, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into Fortnite. We do have the settings set to medium, and so far it's running very good. It did drop a little bit coming down, but keep in mind it is rendering the whole map. So we're playing on 1080p at 144 frames a second at medium settings. So far this could be a medium game. No bottlenecks yet. You can see the usage on the GPU again is back at almost 100%. And there's a little hiccup there where it dropped to 36. But overall, it does feel like a pretty solid game to play on this GPU. One more reason why those manufacturers of those Amazon and eBay computers coming from China are using the 750 Ti in it, probably because it can run some games pretty well. But that's the scary part, is you're paying brand new computer prices for a pretty old graphics card. I mean, this graphics card came out in 2014, it's 2021, so that's a bad thing right there. You're definitely overpaying for the graphics card, which is sad. Especially if you don't know computer parts, some people might get ripped off by this. You know, looking at the GTX and the Ti and thinking, oh, well, my son or my grandson or myself, we're going to get a pretty good deal, $1,000 for a brand new gaming computer. And then in actuality, you're buying a really old graphics card, and that's not what I wanted to pull out. But I'm not very good at Fortnite. We'll go ahead and watch about one more minute of this to see what happens to the graphics card. We're going to be watching this guy. So far, again, not getting over 70 degrees Celsius, which is very good. Thumbs up to EVGA. They're doing an excellent job with that cooler. And we're still getting over 100 frames a second, which is great. So if you want to definitely play Fortnite with this graphics card, you can. If you want to be very competitive, medium's fine, low's fine. And then after we're done with all these games, at the end of the video, I'll go to show you all the benchmarks for both high, medium, and low for all these games. So the next game we're getting into is actually a harder to render game. It's Apex Legends. It's a newer game to run, but again, if you can play it on a Switch, why can't you play it on an older graphics card? We'll find out. I think the hardest thing is probably going to be VRAM buffering. It only has 2 gigabytes of VRAM, so we'll figure out that when we get there. So we're going to go ahead and jump into Apex. We're playing Apex Arena. Let's see, I'm going to be Lifelines. So this game is a little bit more graphic intensive. Right away off the bat, I did have to put it to low settings. And also with the VRAM, it did put me on low buffering.
Are you guys
so at the lowest they go on this game is actually 2 gigabytes of VRAM. So we got lucky, so that works out pretty good for this game. So this is probably not a medium setting game, but so far it's still looking pretty nice. We'll go ahead and jump to the game and see how nice it looks there. And again, we're looking for glitching because we do have that bottleneck for VRAM, and it is just an overall older graphics card. So let's go ahead and stock up on some weapons, go out there, shoot some people, and see how this game plays. So right away, compared to Fortnite and Overwatch, you can actually see the texture on the hands. It's not as pretty looking, but hey, it's not too bad. It's playing the game. Look at the frame rate, even on low, we're at 45 frames a second, which is not amazing. For me, playing a shooter, first-person shooter, especially competitive, I would like to be at least at 100, but 60 is doable. The minimum, I think, for playable gameplay is, I would say, 30. Anything under 30 gets very choppy. And if you're trying to kill people in a game like this, you're not going to be able to hit anything at that frame rate. So far I can hit my targets. We're at 100% again. I wasn't very shocked on that. I was assuming we were going to hit 100 right away anyways. So, not very shocking. But, if I can hit this guy... Yeah, so far this game's running very good. I'm actually shocked how well it's running. I haven't got anything crazy yet, so that's always a good thing. And there we go. So, looking like you can play mostly any game. The only bottleneck you're going to have is VRAM. Just like when we're looking at Call of Duty, you can't really even play that game because it requires 4 gigabytes of VRAM. Overall, this is a pretty good graphics card. It does hit 100% usage all the time. Playing any, I guess, titles from at least the last 6 years, it's probably going to hit 100%. But if you're playing older titles or emulation games from like Nintendo 64, anything like that, I think you'll be fine as well. This is definitely a good buy for under $85. I do recommend it if you are looking for a graphics card in this time, or if you are looking for, let's say, a 30 series card, you're going to pay a lot over market price because the only place you can really find them are eBay because of scalpers. So definitely, if you need to build a gaming computer for someone, today or tomorrow, you can find these cards all day on eBay for under 85 bucks. So I think it's a good buy. As the market is right now, this is probably all you can really buy anyway. So just one of those things. Or supply and demand. So pretty much the next thing we're going to do is actually a real benchmark. We're going to get into 3D Mark, and we're going to do Time Spy. We're going to see how well that compares to video game systems and computer systems in 2020. Okay guys, so we're going to go ahead and jump into Time Spy. I am running the full benchmark. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at graphics test number 2. So far everything's running very, very well. Nothing too crazy. Assuming that this is an older graphics card, I already knew it was going to be below 30 frames a second. This is like running a game on ultra settings, and that's the whole point of a benchmark, is to benchmark your system. So the whole idea is to see how well this graphics card actually compares to graphics cards from 2020. For some reason, Time Spy is not updated to 2021. They only show you comparisons to 2020. So we'll be comparing that to computer systems, workstations, and gaming computers and gaming laptops. And we'll see where this fits in. Of course, if you buy that new Amazon or eBay, build with the 750 Ti in there, well, then you can kind of get an idea of where you are for your money. And with those computers, you're looking at anywhere from $1,000 to 1600 pretty much, 1600. So that's quite a bit of money for buying an old graphics card with not that much power. But if you buy the graphics card yourself, like I did, for $68 and put it in a computer for that was probably around $400 a build, you're doing pretty good. So definitely, if you buy this card yourself, you get a good bang for your buck. But if you don't, you probably don't. Not at all. You won't get a really good bang for your buck at all. But so far, this benchmarks are running pretty well. We're not going to worry about the CPU test. This is not what we're looking. And there it is, guys. So that's the final result from TimeSpy. It put us in a legendary category at 1,600. I'm assuming probably because it's looking at the age of the graphics card itself. That's why we're being put in that category. And you can go over here, that's why I like 3D Mark. You can go over here and look at games, the estimated game performance at Ultra. So we got Battlefront 35 plus. Apex Legends 35 plus, which I doubted because we're having issues at low. Well, not issues, it wasn't running very high frame rates. And then GTA 5 35 frames a second or less, which makes sense. More harder game to run. Fortnite, I think so. It looks about right. And Red Dead Redemption. So that gives you a little indicator where you're at. CPU tested very well. Graphics card test for its time did very well as well. So, and that's a system we've been benchmarking on, if you want to look at that. Definitely a really good way to look at how well your computer's performing. Let's go ahead and compare it to gaming computers in 2020. So yeah, I put this a little bit lower down on the spectrum, but it makes sense. This is an older CPU and an older graphics card, but definitely very easy to be gaming on normal titles on low to medium. Gaming computer, let's take a look at it. i7-9750H with the 2060 in there. That makes sense. It's a lot higher than where we are, but of course that's going to be a lot more expensive. And you can jump into premium, which is the Ryzen 9 3950X with two 2080 Ti's in there, all the way at the top. And you're probably looking at a $6,000 computer. I'm just going to open these up, guys, so you can take a look at them and kind of see where we're looking at. Again, these are all newer processors, but we did beat the Office laptop, so keep that in mind. We did beat somebody. And there's some more stats of where my frequencies are, my boost clocks, the wattage, things like that. That's all right there. So we're gonna go ahead and jump back into the video. I'm gonna have the benchmark scores of all the games, high, medium, low, right after this. And then we'll go ahead and finish up the video with some sexy B-roll. Stay tuned, guys. So overall, guys, the GTX 1050 Ti is a really good budget gaming GPU for under $85. If you're paying more than that, then definitely you might want to get something a little newer. I got mine for $68, which is a win. And the reason behind that is you can still play normal titles like Fortnite, Overwatch, and Apex at a high to medium to low settings, depending on how many frame rates you want. Of course, a newer game like Apex, you definitely want to put at a low setting and limit the VRAM to 2 gigabytes of VRAM, because this card does not have very much VRAM. So for me, I like to play around at low settings on Overwatch so I can get 115 frames a second. Definitely good for competitive gaming. If you go a little higher, let's say to medium settings, you're getting about 60 to 70 frames a second, depending on what you're doing in the game. Apex definitely would be a low tier gaming setting on that one. Definitely you're getting anywhere from 30 to 60 max. A little harder for competitive gaming, but definitely playable. And then in Fortnite, medium settings, we did do very well. We got anywhere from 80 to 90 frames a second on average. Low, you're getting in the hundreds. So it depends on where you want to game at. But if you are playing those type of games that are a little less graphical intensive, you got yourself a win, guys. So if you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and share. And if you have any comments or questions, go ahead and leave those down below. I'll see you in the next video, guys. GhostBitMiner out. Take a look at this good B-roll.